Hey everyone, welcome to a new episode of the Red Devils Corner Kick Podcast, a fan podcast dedicated to Manchester United Football Club. As always, like, subscribe, follow, whether you're listening on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or YouTube, and as well as you can follow on social media, whether it's Instagram, TikTok, or X. I hope everyone has been enjoying their week. It is a late Saturday, or not Saturday, it's a late Thursday, almost going into Friday. I do apologize for the late episode, going to be out early in the morning. It is the preview for the women's match against Leicester City, which is happening on Saturday at 7 a.m. And then we have the men's squad playing at 7:30 right after, during the game, 7:30 against Tottenham. But yes, we are playing Leicester City. It is another big matchup. Every game is big. As you know, this is the first game in the big stretch. We have 5 games in 15 days. We have 2 WSL games, FA Cup round against Chelsea, and as well as 2 Champions League games against Atletico. So it is big. I was watching. It's going to be big for rotation, to say the least. The league final, which is set for March the 15th, the West Ham game got moved. So obviously when we're coming back, because I was just looking at the fixtures here, just checking up the updates. So we come back entering into the cup final. So we finish off the FA Cup against the women, and we're going into an international break, and then March the 15th we come back for the final. The West Ham game did get moved to another date, so to say the least. So that's exciting. At one point when I was looking at the schedules, I think I saw it dated as the league final for the 22nd, but obviously something I may have misread something, or may have just mistakenly it, but it looks like everything has been set in stone with the FA Cup. It just happened to be that Chelsea and United are going to be facing each other in back-to-back weekends. We face that at the end of the long stretch in the FA Cup against Chelsea, and then we're coming back to them against them when we play them on in the League Cup final. So it is, it's a lot of stuff getting ready to go on. So definitely looking forward to it. Obviously the updates came this week, so but yeah, definitely looking forward to it. So an exciting next 6 games with a nice little break in between. Was listening to the Skinner podcast, or not the Skinner podcast, the Skinner press conference. Obviously, same 2 players are still out. One is expected to be back at the international break. Another one is not expected to be back until at least March. Leah, Ella. Leah is going to be back aiming for the international break, whereas Ella is still going to be until at least March, just waiting for it to heal. So, but yeah, it sucks. It sucks that you're going to have both of them missing Champions League games. I know they're talking about setting the squad up, which players. It looks like the new signings will all be there, which is great. Not only that, having Gabby George and Rolfo back too. I still expect those 2 to be starting when we have our European match, which is next Thursday at 12. Thursday on the 12th. Let me just check to see the time. 3:00. So yes, I'm still going to be watching that. In terms of the live show on the 22nd, I will try to get that there. Obviously, I was going to mention the League Cup final was going to be there. So now that the League Cup final is there on the 15th, I will still be doing it. That I may be pushing it to that day. I will be targeting a day to still do it beforehand to get myself a test run ready to go. If the FA Cup game is able to be viewed, which I hope it is, especially when you have Chelsea and Man United playing, we probably will hopefully get that televised and looked at. So hopefully here I'm able to look at it and find a stream. Hopefully that we're televising it here. It is sometimes hard to find a stream for the women's games. Roger Sportsnet does a fantastic job having the WSL and YouTube as well. So you have those platforms, to say the least. So, but I don't know if they're going to be, I don't know if YouTube's going to be having it. And you're hopefully that on the 22nd, we are able to stream that game and watch it as well. Because let me just take a look, because we should have Premier League games going on as well. That's the one thing too, and that's the one thing that sucked about the Burnley match and the Burnley match. I was not able to watch it because of there was no stream for it. Even they mentioned it wasn't going to be televised. So the 22nd, keep going. Almost there. Yes, there will be Prem games going on. Well, the men's squad won't be playing. Yeah, the men's squad's playing. Actually, men's squad's playing that Monday, the 23rd, so the day after. So I think I've mentioned that too. So, yeah. But yes, it's going to be in the next busy 5 games. They do have a busy game on Saturday against Leicester. Don't get me wrong. Listen, like I always say, every game is important. Please do not look at the table. As much as it's great that we are in second at this time, we're still 11 points back of City. Arsenal, obviously due to the Intercontinental match, they were not able to play their game against Leicester last week, so even Leicester is a game behind. Leicester, Arsenal still have a game in hand. I shouldn't say a game behind. So this is interesting because, again, if we can start making up space as well, that's key too. But we have to make sure we're starting to get distance. Every game does matter. Again, rotationally wise, I think Skinner's going to go with the same lineup that he did last week. I think that's a safe bet. And then as you get into the European matches, you're going to see a rotation. We are back against the Lionesses next weekend, and then back at Europe again, followed by the FA Cup the weekend after. But I think the rotation is key for this. It has to be. I think starting off with the same squad there, and then as you approach the European games, you're going to start looking at different rotations here. Listen, last game, obviously the first half was, you wonder, it felt a little slow to start off. That you did, as always, they found ways in the second half to start scoring like they have, especially in those final thirds. But it would be good for them to start off quick, get a goal in, start moving the ball. They have a lot of, they have to do a lot to try and move the ball, get everything going, using the outsides, moving the ball out of the back, using the middle, getting movements and shots. Because again, they have to treat this, every game you have to treat it the same, that your opponent is going to try and take the points away from you. We can't drop points in this game. Like I mentioned against Liverpool last week, dropping points is a concern, especially as we're trying to fight for that Champions League. We have to make sure everyone is ready to go. The health and concern coming out of these next 5 games is key too. And you want to make sure everyone's healthy on Sunday. That's the key point. Everyone needs to be healthy on Sunday, or coming out of Sunday, because again, with the matchup against Atletico on Thursday. So that's the important thing too. And we're going to have some time in between games, but I think still getting that rotation in is key. So again, still starting with the same squad as last week, which again was a little slow start. Maybe you might see more time of Rolfo and Gabby George in, because they are now coming back. They had minutes in last week. Rolfo scoring in her return. But having them come back and ready to go, I think does make a difference. I think you may expect them to get more minutes this weekend, just get them fresh. Because again, we play Saturday. We're not back until the Thursday. And we are traveling on the road to Atletico. So we have to make sure we're fresh and ready to go. But going back to the Leicester game, and I know I'm talking about the big getting carried away here. Don't look at the table. Like I said, Leicester is bottom 3. We're up in the top 2. It's cool. Yeah, great. We can't start off slow, like I was mentioning, like we did with Liverpool, like we have with a few teams. You can't keep trying to rely on trying to get those goals in the final third, which we've done fantastically. But we really need to make sure that we're adapting to the press. Again, Leicester is going to go at us hard. If they looked at Liverpool and see what they've done, the press. If you're pressing against us, especially with the pressure, it can affect you. Long balls, you want to make sure that the ladies are accurate. You have to make sure Riviere, Sandberg, when they're moving the ball out the back, that you're finding ways, whether it's in the middle. The one thing too is you want to make sure that we're having control in the middle. Nelson played fantastic last weekend with the 2 goals. Mallard, Park out on the wing. Maybe Skinner does go for an adjustment, but I think Turlin up at the front is fine. But I think I think some of our new signings, you'll definitely see some minutes with them as well. I think Schuler, Lundqvist, Wareham should be able to get in. They're going to be key, especially for their rotation. You want to make sure, again, everyone's getting minutes. You don't want anyone to be coming out of this not getting any minutes and going to a game that's big next week. As always, I'm always going for a win for Manchester United. Points are important. We can't let it go. We have to make sure that we're moving the ball. We're finishing, as you can hear from some podcasts. Consistency, discipline, finish. That's what we need. When we get in their box, we got to move and get the ball into the back of the net. Crosses, movement into the middle, finding the lanes. Again, Park, when she gets the hold of the ball, the way she moves it with her feet, the control, the vision that she's found. When we get those shots, we have to take it. We cannot rush our passes when we try to do the long ball. Make sure we're not trying to do just to clear out, but that we're trying to get it on target. Sometimes we've seen it this season where they're a step 1 or 2 steps behind from receiving the pass. We can't have that happen. So they have to be, everyone's got to be on the same page, moving the ball. But yeah, everyone, again, I'm going to go with the same lineup with the whole squad. And I'm going to pull up my lineup here as we're chatting. So just give me a moment here. Yep, I have it here. So yeah, going with the lineup for Sunday. Toulouse Joyce as keeper, Riviere, Letitia, Janssen, Sandberg as your back 4, Miyazawa, Olme as your 2 mid, and then on the wings you'll have Park, Marlon. Did I just butcher that? Why would I do that? My apologies. I don't know why. Yeah, Mallard. Sorry. I don't know why I said Mallard. Sorry, Mallard. So yeah, Nelson, Park, Mallard, and then Turlin as your striker. So yeah, I deserve to be yelled at for that comment. So yeah, once again, Toulouse Joyce, Riviere, Letitia, Janssen, Sandberg, Miyazawa, Olme, followed by Park and Mallard on the wing with Nalzlin as the mid, attacking mid, and then Turlin as your striker. So I think it's the safe bet for Mark Skinner for this squad. I think you have to continue it the same as last week. We will be seeing adjustments made for the European one, but do expect Rolfo, Lundqvist, George. Who else is there? Wangerham, Schuler. Expect them to get in there. Even Millie Turner, you can see some minutes there too. You want to make sure we're getting rotation in. The one thing key is I know Skinner would like to play at least some of the same back 4 in those European games, especially with it being a Saturday game and a Thursday. There's going to be some time in between. But if you are able to get the goals early, make sure you get that rotation in minutes. I know Jade Riviere sometimes gets a couple knocks in the game and she's able to fight through and play through it. But you want to give her a rest. You want to make sure Lundqvist gets in and gives her some minutes. Getting Gabby George in to either get Letitia or Janssen some rest as well. Get someone in for Sandberg, because I know during the stretch he would like to try and use like the same rotation, at least 3. We know we've seen rotations of Gabby George, Janssen, and Letitia, those 3 as your center backs. Now that we have more depth with our players, especially for our back, having Lundqvist there is key. That's huge. Depth for striker, wingers as well, especially with Rolfo back. You can use Mallard, Rolfo, Park, but again, or even Wangerham there. So we've even seen Rolfo as a right back as well. So we have depth pieces there, which is key. And I think that's key for going through these matches against Atletico, because depth, especially, well, not even just Atletico, just these 5 games, the depth has to be key. We have to look at it. So, but yeah, again, rotation is going to be key. If we can get the goals, get players in who need the minutes, who just are coming back, like Gabby George, like Rolfo, those would be key. They would be. Especially you want to get them filled in with other players too. So if you can get the signings that we just brought in, as well as those that will be there, that'll be key as well. So because you're going to see those players in that European match on Thursday as well. So I'm going to leave it there for the episode. I will be back basically, depending on when this comes out, later tonight with the preview of the men's squad versus Tottenham as well. So definitely going to be talking about that. But yeah, once again, Tulis Joyce, back 3 of Riviere, Letitia, Janssen, Sandberg, Miyazawa, Olme, Mallard, Nelson, and as well as Park, and then Turlin as our striker. So, but in the end, this is an important game. Points can't be dropped. We can't be looking past this game to our next one, which is a Champions League game. We have to focus on this, get the points, get rotation in. Again, depth is going to be key, especially with next week of a Thursday match, Sunday match, back to a Thursday, back to a Sunday. So like the times in between from our weekends to our Thursdays into our Champions League games are great, but still there is going to be concern. So we want to make sure we're all healthy coming out of this. So, but I will, again, leave it there. I'll see you guys later on tonight. Don't forget to hit like, subscribe, follow, whether it's Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or YouTube. And don't forget to follow on social media as well. This is the Red Devils Corner Kick Podcast. Glory, glory, Man United.